Now, let's move from bailouts to breakups and billions in loan guarantees, efforts to revive the world's financial system again in the spotlight. What should investors' strategy be at this time? We can go from Hong Kong now and go over to Singapore, where we've got Roger Grobley. He's head of financial market analysis at LGT Capital Management. Roger, thanks for joining us. Well, how do you look at all this? I mean, we've had all these various stimulus packages. We need another one now in the UK. You know, what should investors be taking from this?
It's really difficult, and you see that investors are really swinging between hope and also between fear, because you see that the reality is much worse than expected previously, because now in last week already and in the next couple of weeks we will see the earnings season. We also will see that some statistical data came out, and the biggest surprise to us was really in China, where really the export and as well as the import totally collapsed. So we all believed that the Chinese authorities were able to put kind of a floor to the 8% GDP growth. And now in the weekend press, some officials stated that this is going to be extremely challenging. So that means the hope that China will save the area is very weak. And also in Singapore, the government is coming out this week with the budget, and they will prepare the population for tougher times. As an investor, the conclusion is that we are really in kind of a trading market in a sideways trend, up plus minus 10%, driven by some short-term events like higher commodity prices and currency trading, and that's it. So difficult environment.
Roger, we're just going to take a break. Back with you to discuss, because there's loads more to talk about here as far as this goes. Roger Grobley there from LGT Capital Management. Well, let's return to our guest for comment here. Roger Grobley is head of financial market analysis, LGT Capital Management in Singapore. Roger, thanks for sticking around with us. Well, you know, what do you make about the latest package which is in place at the moment to help the British economy and also these banks? And on top of that, where and what are the possibilities of this recession turning into a depression?
The most important currently now is that the governments really take everything, any tools, in order to work on the disease of the entire recession. But this doesn't mean that the cure will not be very brutal. We have to be realistic. And all these measurements pumping money into the economy, pumping money also into industries where they hardly should survive, actually, will create later some inflation, and investors have to deal in this environment. So we all welcome the measurements, and there is no way out. I mean, what you have to do is you have to create jobs. You have to create jobs on the community, on the country level, but this will not actually relieve the pain in the economy, in the real economy, and how the data show now, the pain is increasing. And in this environment, it is very difficult, it's very tricky, because the deleveraging is going on. In Asia, deleveraging started already in '97, so the economies here are a bit better prepared for that. However, we are export-oriented, so Asia is suffering as well, in line with the rest of the world. So it's becoming serious.
Right. Let's see, how does this actually translate into what happens on the equity markets? And, you know, just looking short-term, tomorrow, historic day, Barack Obama, the inauguration. Do we get the Obama bounce looking for the next few days anyway?
We will get the Obama bounce. We have it already with very shy volume, actually. And there are a lot of expectation in the markets that Obama will come with an additional package, that with his new team he can take some new measurements, also unpopular measurements. Maybe in the beginning he has a kind of a bonus for the first 100 days. And yes, but on the other side there's a big risk, actually, that they put too much attention on that and too much hope, and there's a big chance that the world will be disappointed, because Obama cannot solve the world. And even if you want to invest in fallen angels like the Citigroup, in other banks, shareholders will not be bailed out. Companies will be bailed out, but not shareholders. As a shareholder, you have to to deal with this environment. And this is going to be very tricky and very painful. And we have to watch out after Obama take over. Investors will focus more now on the current earnings season, about the outlook. So I would say, to make it short, that valuation will meet the reality again.
Roger, great having you on the program. It's over. Roger Grobely there, joining us from Singapore, LGT Capital Management. That's where he's based.